अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह। Just like a sunrise can't be denied, no, just like the river will find the sea. Oh Allah, you're here and you're always near, and I know without a doubt that you always hear my prayer. सच की राह पे चला करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह। So many bright stars like diamonds in the sky. Oh, it makes me wonder how anyone can be blind to all the signs so clear. Just open your eyes and I know without a doubt you will surely see the light, the light, the light.
तेरी ही दुनिया तेरी ज़मीन, ये कहकर शाहे तू है करीम मेरे मौला। सुन ले दुआ हम बेबस है तेरे बिना, रोशन कर जहां।
ऐसा जुल्म न किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह, अल्लाह ही अल्लाह किया करो, दुख न किसी को दिया करो, जो दुनिया का मालिक है नाम उसी का लिया करो। अल्लाह ही अल्लाह।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sunday's Loose Sisters Live with Alvina Ali on Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton. Now, on today's show, we will be talking about the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, refreshing on the government's message as well as the NHS, and we will be sharing some community support and initiatives that have been happening around Wolverhampton. So if you would like to take part in the discussion today, ring in on 01902 972 150, or you can text in on 07 440 420 432. So settle back and settle in for more of Loose Sisters. So joining me on the panel today are two lovely sisters, Famida Kausar and Iram Iqbal as well. Also, due to social distancing in the studio, later on the phone, we will be joined by our Loose brother, Dr. Adnan Hussain. So, Loose sisters, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourselves?
Assalamu alaikum. It's Iram Iqbal. I live in Wolverhampton for the past 5 years now. My husband, he's a doctor and aesthetic consultant in New Cross Hospital. Got 2 children, and I am an IT project manager consultant working with technology management. And I'm here to join Alvina and my other sisters to share some thoughts and
Lovely.
general things about COVID.
Thank you so much, Sister Iram, for joining me, and Sister Kausar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum to all of our listeners, locally and beyond. My name is Kausar, and I've been living in Wolverhampton for about 20 years. I am a wife and mother to 2 little people. Academically, my background is in forensic sciences, and currently, during this pandemic, I have been working and volunteering with a few different charities across Wolverhampton, getting much-needed essentials to people that are vulnerable, unable to go out, they're ill, and that are socially isolating.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the intros there, sisters. Now, obviously, the coronavirus pandemic has taken so much solid ground from underneath people. As such, Boris Johnson has decided to declare it as a national emergency and called us down on a lockdown. Now, as of the 24th of March, people may now only leave home to exercise once a day, to travel and work, and where absolutely necessary, to shop for essential items and to fulfill any medical or care needs. Now, for many of us, the thing that is on top of our minds at the moment is to worry, thinking about how to manage working from home, how to get the things we need, how to occupy and entertain our children, and what will happen if we or our loved ones become unwell. Not only are there the tragic losses of life, loved ones, health, and income to deal with, we're also dealing with the loss of our previous life. Now, events that have been cancelled, the friends we are unable to meet, the ordinary activities like having a haircut or going to the gym, that is not currently possible. So, sisters, how has COVID-19 impacted on you and your family life? So if I go over to Sister Iram first.
Okay, so when I would start from when this lockdown was being talked about and it wasn't implemented in the first few days of March. My husband being a doctor, actually I was personally getting very scared about the unknowns, and hearing the news and things. It was a little daunting initially. So sitting at home was the last of my worries at that point in time. But I think over the time we realized, and I give a lot of credit to my husband and my kids to that, that they actually calmed me down, and they actually gave me the courage that this is for the good, and so that's something we could settle in for. But the most challenging what I found was managing the kids at home, especially a 4-year-old who was, who couldn't go to school anymore and was missing his friends. And it's just getting the balance of things. Although the good part was he understood that we were inside, or we were in isolation because of the germs.
Yes.
And I think that's probably where the whole challenge must be for a lot of other families as well. So, I think now we've just eased into a routine. But yes, I think it's individuals who've been handling, but it's everyone coming together that has helped and is going to help us get through this.
Right, okay. I believe we have a phone call. We'll go straight into that and then we'll come on to Sister Kausar. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, it's Lou Sisters here. Who's calling?
It's Reverend Ray Gaston. I was asked to call in.
Oh, right, Reverend. I think Sister Kausar has texted you when to call in. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'll go off and come back again.
Lovely, thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Right, okay. We got someone, Lou's brother, eager to come on as well. So, okay, let's go straight over to Sister Kausar then.
Well, I think it's made us pause. It literally has made us pause. It's when we first started hearing about this, naturally, I think we all had the same sort of reaction, didn't we? Because it was the unknown, it was the unknown, it was the unseen. We didn't know how to. You don't know how to react when it's something you haven't ever dealt with before. I can only speak for ourselves and my family. For us, it just gave us time to appreciate our family, our homes. It has taught us, and it is teaching us sabr. Not being able to go to the shops and just pick up a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Not being able to go out just on the spur of it. It's been a trial sometimes, but I've got 2 little children, primary age like yourself, Sister Iram, and that they've been a blessing. And I think for me, it's been more of a blessing, if anything else. Not being, not running around outside, not doing the school run and having to do the daily running around.
Yeah.
I'd say that as a parent, we all feel really guilty for not spending enough time with our children. And this has given us time to spend with our children, the majority of us.
I
Yeah.
agree
And
totally.
I have absolutely enjoyed, and I'm in absolute awe of my children. That
Oh, bless you.
I'm watching them grow, and because they're primary school, that they grow so fast at that age, don't
Yeah.
they? So it's been an absolute delight watching them. And I've got a little boy, a little 6-year-old, and watching him grow up and develop over the last few weeks, because they grow so fast at that age, don't they?
Yeah.
They develop so fast at that age, and I think as a parent, we feel that we miss a lot of that. So that's been a positive, and I feel that, just time to appreciate what's been, what we have, really. We take so much for granted, and this has really just caused us to stop. It's very simple, I think. I think the equation is very simple, for me anyway.
All right. Okay. Again, I think it's a time to reflect at this time as well. And obviously, I think everyone is making use of making time with the family, mingling together, doing cooking together, playing board games together, things that you couldn't do. And obviously, because we're restricted and we're only allowed to go out once, families are enjoying the walk time, cycling time, and things like that. So there is a lot to be learned as well.
On the downside, obviously, not being able to see friends and family. My mother recently moved to Wolverhampton, and she's not living with us.
Yeah.
But I've just not been able to go around and give her a hug.
Oh,
And,
bless.
That's just heartbreaking. But just keep motivating one another, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're lucky in the sense that we have modern technology.
Yeah.
And we could obviously WhatsApp call, and we can also, I've got a call coming in. Let's have a look. Hello, this is Lou Sisters.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It's Dr. Adnan Hussain.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Adnan Hussain. Welcome to Lou Sisters. As a loose brother on the panel, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good as well. Now, Dr. Adnan Hussain, you're a young doctor who recently qualified last February, gone this year, and facing the pandemic. How are you coping?
Alhamdulillah, I'm coping really well. Initially, it was quite stressful going straight from medical school into a pandemic, but I think the hospitals are coping a lot better now. Obviously, there's still some problems with PPE and things like that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think I'm coping quite okay.
All right, lovely. So how has it impacted on your family life?
On my family life, it's been quite stressful because my mum, she's in a high risk group.
Right.
And after working, I have to isolate for 14 days. A lot of the staff in the NHS, they're having to do similar, to isolate and spend time away from family to limit the exposure.
And that must be really hard for you as well.
Yeah, it is quite difficult, but it's what's necessary to, look after the family and keep working. So it has to be done.
Yeah, that is key, definitely, to protect the family. Now, what can you tell us through the eyes of a doctor coming in contact with COVID-19 patients?
Initially, it was quite stressful because going from medical school into this, there's nothing which really prepares you for it. and a lot of the experienced staff were quite scared as well, so it wasn't too reassuring because no one knew what to do. But I feel now that there's a lot more guidelines and procedures in place that it is a lot easier, and after the redeployment of a lot of doctors, it's a lot easier now. But that isn't to say we should take this disease lightly. It's still quite serious. But yeah.
Okay. So what can you tell us about the disease then?
Okay, so you have the virus, which is coronavirus, which causes the disease known as COVID-19. And it presents in many ways in different patients. It can be quite a mild flu, or it can ravage the body. And I guess we're still learning about the disease, so it's quite hard to say at the moment what we fully understand.
So what happens in the intensive care unit?
In intensive care, it allows for more supervision, so there's one-to-one nursing, and there's a lot more supervision of the patient, so we can keep a better eye on them. That's usually just what is happening in the ITU now.
Okay. So when you say you're keeping a better eye on them, how are you monitoring them?
By checking their oxygen saturation, their blood pressure, all their vital information, and just keeping an eye on them, just generally how they're keeping.
All right. Okay. And what message would you like to give to our listeners?
I would say it's very important to understand that it's a serious disease, that although the government is planning on lifting the lockdown measures, I wouldn't suggest or advise any Eid gatherings or barbecues or anything like that just yet. And inshallah, if we all follow the guidance and the measures of social distancing, it will all be over quite soon. But I'd also say as well to remember that all the staff, so nurses, cleaners, even shopkeepers, we're all doing our bit to keep the country running.
Yeah.
And inshallah, if we all do our bit and the general public stay indoors, it will help.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it will help and obviously protect people as well, and also the NHS, and ultimately save lives as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Adnan Hussain, for taking the time out from your busy schedule and for your valid comments as well. Now, we just want you to remember that you are our hero and you are my wonderful nephew as well. So thank you for taking the time out. Stay blessed.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Good Hafiz. Right. Okay. That was Dr. Adnan Hussain. Now, sisters, have you got anything to add to what Dr. Adnan Hussain was saying? I know, Iram, your husband's a doctor. Does that sort of reflect like what your husband's going through?
I think because he's a consultant at a more senior level and being an anesthetic consultant, he has been involved with, more of the difficult cases, I would say, with more medical complexity. And, we are originally coming from India where we do see quite a huge numbers as well. So I might say that it wasn't overwhelming upfront. Yes, it is, because it is something which, has taken us all by surprise.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I think they were quite, to start with, they did get an initial training on using their PPE kit, and they have the full gear, which was, which was checked for their individual, levels of how much. I think there's some involvement. I don't know the details, but yeah. So that's something which they do follow and which they do have available. But yes, when he does come back home, the first thing he has to do is literally go into self. So he has a separate room where he needs to go in. He gets his clothes to get washed, taking a shower. So all those things are definitely there, and they've, to be honest, in the new, I can talk about New Cross where he's working, where they have been able to manage, because it hasn't been, like extremely long hours of work.
Yeah.
I think they have been able to eventually manage this quite well,
Yeah.
given the circumstances.
Given the circumstances that we are
Yes.
actually a hotspot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given that, I think they have a lot of credit. I mean, I would like to say that yes, I think it's everybody coming together as a team,
Yeah.
including the common people, making sure that they have been observing their limitations, and then the staff and other members who have been taking care of the people.
Yeah.
So I think that way, it overall it has been daunting. It is challenging. It is going to still be challenging.
Yes.
Because of the unknowns. But I think it's how well we manage, how well we come together, and I think that's the main key. That how well we come together without actually coming together. So
Oh, bless.
it's an IT world, like you say, you're virtually together.
Yes.
But well, I think maybe that's the new norm, which maybe
It does feel like the new norm, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It almost feels as if we cannot even imagine what time was like before this, and how bizarre is that?
Absolutely, I agree with you. To be, and then it's a little odd because, like I said, I'm from an IT background. So for me, virtual working or remote working is nothing new.
Nothing new at all, yes.
In fact, in our industry, to be honest, surprisingly, like they all said, virtual tools are actually getting a lot of boost, and people who were not earlier getting the advantage of working from home.
Yes.
Getting
Perhaps
that.
it's the way forward.
Yes,
It is. I mean, people never thought that they'll ever work from home. That's another example.
Exactly.
And suddenly, obviously, when we got bombarded and we were told to isolate and lockdown kicked in, it was amazing how all the businesses and all the companies made those arrangements for their staff
exactly.
to be working from home.
And not just that, they actually realized that people are being more efficient and productive
True.
working from home.
That's it. Why do you think that could be? Could it be because you're not under any stress levels? At work, you're meeting like deadlines and stuff. At home, you're a bit more relaxed, and maybe you could just get on with
To
it.
be honest, when Sister Corsa mentioned earlier, earlier we always had this work-life balance word used, and quality time with your children. But now you are getting that. You're
Yes.
actually getting that, and I think people have embraced the fact that if you can hear kids' noise while a meeting is going on,
It's okay.
It's acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the word that was being used earlier in the corporate world about extended family, that is being actually embraced.
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
So I think that those things are definitely big positives.
Yes.
And a lot of companies are actually thinking about continuing with it, and maybe they save on their logistics and facilities, which actually, is a good thing, probably.
Reduce
Yes.
the daily commute.
Yeah.
Reduce the daily commute, which is
Absolutely.
stressful in itself.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So again, you're making savings as well, aren't you?
Yes.
So which is a bonus. But then obviously you got some people thinking, okay, I'm working from home, and then I'm using my own electricity, I'm using my own heating, and things like that. But again, it off balances it.
Your comfort zone. So what are you complaining about?
That's it. So again, it just off balances everything as well. I know, Iram, you've got a young child, haven't you? And stuff. And you talked about isolating as well.
Yeah.
So obviously when your husband comes back from the hospital
Yes.
and things like that, he can't have any like physical contact. How does your little one actually sort of...
I have to physically hold him back,
Oh.
restrain him, because what I taught him was,
Yeah.
when we come back home, give a big hug.
Oh.
And I literally have to keep saying, it's the germs, and he says, I can't see it.
Oh, bless
So
him.
it is one of the most difficult tasks, I would say. But
Yeah.
yes.
And even for Joe Public,
Yeah.
like myself, when you're coming in through the door, shoes off, we've got our bottle of disinfectant on the side, taking our masks, gloves, shoes off, and
Yeah.
spraying everything down, and changing. We've got separate clothes for going out.
Yeah.
Separate clothes when we're in the house.
Yes.
And it is when we're coming through the door and the kids come around the corner, it's like, stop.
Yes.
Do not come any closer.
Yeah.
Especially when they haven't seen you for a couple of hours.
It
And
is
they want to
hard.
report back to you about what they've been making, what they've been doing,
Yeah.
what they've broken,
Yes.
what they've learned.
Yeah.
So they've been remarkable, though, the little people
The
that
kids,
we live with.
yeah, the kids haven't they? What about the teenagers then?
Okay, yeah, that's another story. Because incidentally, I have a 4-year-old and I have an 18-year-old as well in my house.
Yeah.
Well,
More sleep?
more sleep, more
sleep.
but I think because they have their university lessons and
Yes.
they have their lectures, they've been able to give more time to themselves. I
That's
think.
good.
And I think when they transition, like for my girl, when she transitioned from A levels to medical school, she didn't get a break, to be honest. And I think this is a good time
Yes.
for her.
Yeah.
And one of the best times where she can't complain about being hungry and thirsty or being lazy and not being able to help me for iftar and dinner. So yes.
Okay.
Positive experience.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Right. Okay. We are going to go into a break very shortly. And if you do want to give us a call on 01902 972 150 or send us a text on 074 404 20432. So,
Okay.
okay, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. You're tuned into Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton on Loose Sisters with Alvina Ali. Still to come, it's COVID-19 and the NHS, and then we'll be talking about some community initiatives as well. Now, if you would like to take part in any part of the discussion on the show today, ring in on 01902 972 150 or text in on 07 440 420 432. And on the line, I have got Sister Rizwana Sarwar. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Walaikum assalam. How you all doing?
We're all good. We're proper loose in the studio at the moment, our sisters are.
I just wanted to, you were talking about teenagers, and I
Yes.
wanted to give a little bit about my own son.
Okay.
My son that lives with me, who's a teenager, he's 18.
MashaAllah,
And
yes.
he's very, very introvert at the best of times.
Yeah.
So at the moment, he's loving this lockdown because it means he doesn't need to go out at all. And he just literally stays upstairs in his room a lot of the time, except for when it's like nearly iftari time at the moment. But he'll come down and he's all of a sudden started to cook.
Wow.
And he's made a request for all these extravagant ingredients.
Wow.
He's realized he loves Chinese cooking as well.
Uh-huh.
So, but he also does Jamaat, which is a very, very positive.
That's, mashallah, really good, yes.
He started to do Jamaat, although, albeit a little bit hastily, should I add, very quickly, up, down. And because I said to him, you're at home and you need to be doing Jamaat with us. Because I have two small toddlers as well, 7 and 8 years old. So, I said, you're a role model to them, so you have to do Jamaat at home. But as I said, he's enjoying being at home. He's like, I don't think the schools should open until September at least.
Oh,
I don't know. He was in his second year of A levels, and he's not very happy about the fact that he's missed his exams.
Yeah,
That's the
my
only
daughter's
part
like that
he's
as well, yes.
Yeah, and he was saying that I may need to appeal some of my A levels. He's already told me I'm going to have to appeal some of them because I know I can do better if I actually sat the exam than what they're going to give me.
I'm sure the school, the government, and obviously the teachers will be working very, very closely with the children regarding their predicted grades. So I'm sure, inshallah, everything should work his way.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Is there anything else you would like to say, Sister Rizwana?
Well, regarding the teenagers, no, but regarding the community effort that's happening at the moment, it's amazing how the community has come together, regardless of which masjid and this, that, and the other. Everybody has come together, and it's so beautiful, and everybody's doing so much work together. Gorsa's involved in a few initiatives as well. You know, just helping the vulnerable. All of a sudden, you have been able to identify people who on the outside may have looked okay normally. You wouldn't have even addressed them. And now all of a sudden, you realize, you know what? These people are quite vulnerable and they actually need a lot of help.
Yes.
And you wouldn't have realized it's only this situation that has brought these people out. But there's a lot of people out there willing to help them as well. The help is out there, whether it be in the terms of voluntary help as well, which is, alhamdulillah, very, very good.
Right. Thank you, Rizwana, Sister
And that's it,
Rizwana.
really. Yes.
Right. Okay. We will be.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Like I says, we will be touching up on the community initiatives very shortly as well. Have you, sisters, got anything to add with regards to what Sister Rizwana was saying?
Yes, I think so. When she spoke about her son learning to cook or wanting to learn to cook,
Yeah.
he's obviously been up there looking at different recipes and
Yes.
watching YouTube videos on how to cook. And I think one of the positives that has come out of this lockdown is, especially with two younger children, is teaching them new skills that there is no way that we could have ever taught them outside of holidays. And I'm one of these parents, and don't cringe, I absolutely love the holidays. I can't wait for my children to be at home with us so we can do stuff together. And this has been great. We've been able to, teach them so many different things. We've been able to, when the weather was wonderful over the last couple of weeks, going out in the garden, teaching them how to, I won't say use a drill for a 6-year-old, but watching Daddy use a drill and picking up skills. And I have a 10-year-old daughter, so that's been great getting her in the kitchen.
That's really good.
Setting them up for life, really. And
Definitely.
I don't think we would have been able to do this.
No, otherwise we wouldn't have. Right. Okay. So COVID-19, again, is wreaking havoc all over in our lives, as we have mentioned. So how lucky are we to have the NHS? Now, as the coronavirus crisis rumbles on at present, the focus of the health services is on saving the lives of those infected with COVID-19. Now, many of us have followed government guidelines and are self-isolating due to quite mild symptoms. Now, what that means is we're now obsessively watching our symptoms to see if we're coming down with the real coronavirus. So healthcare staff across the country have been under immense pressure tackling the threat of COVID-19. Now, I'm going to go through some of the figures here, which I picked up from this morning. There are now more than 182,000 confirmed coronavirus cases in the UK. And there are 28,131 people with the virus who have died. Now, the actual number of cases is estimated to be higher. So until recently, it was mostly those in hospital and some NHS and care staff who were being tested. But the testing program is now being extended. So what about Wolverhampton? Those were the general statistics. Now, for Wolverhampton, there are 850 confirmed cases out of a local population of 262,008 people. Now, in the Midlands, 4,084 people have died after testing positive for coronavirus. Now, obviously, this regional data for deaths in England only includes people in hospitals. Outside of England, it may include deaths that occurred in the community as well. And just to let you know that this source has been provided by the UK public health bodies, and the figures were last updated on the 2nd of May in the morning. So, panel, sisters, my dear sisters, it's been revealed that the number of coronavirus hospital deaths in England, Wales and Northern Ireland has risen by 425. So, with Scotland's figures, we're not sure what they are because they haven't been published at the present moment. So, what are your thoughts on Boris Johnson wanting the Brits to get back to work from May the 26th? So, if cases of coronavirus are low enough, that is if. So, will they get low? Now, I've seen Sister Corsa shoot up with a hand in the air, so we're going to go straight over to Sister Corsa.
Oh, dear. I think the message is quite clear. Again, I can only speak personally. I think we should resist the government's attempts to prematurely send us back to work. No one should be forced to go back to work until it's totally safe. Mm-hmm. And there is a system in place for testing and tracing, like you said, Alvina.
Yes, yeah.
I feel it's putting wealth before health,
Mm-hmm.
and they are putting profits before the safety of the nation. This is what I'm feeling, and I think I speak for quite the majority of people.
It's the economy, isn't it, what they're thinking about?
I mean, obey the government guidelines, but as long as I feel 100% safe for myself and my family,
yes.
No, I personally think it's a bad move. They need to look at what other countries are doing, other countries that have come out of lockdown, monitor those countries, but ultimately ensure that it will work. It's a really difficult one for the government, this is, and there is no room for error. I think there's no room for error here. Otherwise, we are going to end up losing a lot more lives. I think the figures are way too high. We're at the beginning of May now, and I think those figures that you have just given are way too high for us in a couple of weeks to be.
I was going to say, the total deaths have been like 28,131. And believe it or not, from yesterday, it went up to 621. Yeah. That is a huge jump from 400.
This is the peak, and that might be a reflection of, as a layman, going when I was out yesterday doing some deliveries for a local charity, I noticed a lot more cars out on the road and definitely a lot more people out there walking around and in the parks. I mean, I saw some people playing cricket in the park the other day. I was absolutely shocked. And I think, that message that's being put out by the government to stay home, stay indoors, don't go out unless essential. I'm not sure that if everybody is adhering to that, and it's because people are not adhering to that is why we're seeing this spike again yesterday. That is a frightening number. I did not know.
It is, yeah.
I just wanted to, I mean, I know this is yes, not lie. I mean, it's actually if we take a step back and we think, because obviously our government has been taking it into consideration that economy is not everything, and they did decide about the lockdown and they have been upfront in paying people about furlough, giving the furlough options to companies, which is a huge it's a huge step given the economy that we were the state of economy that we were in. I know I must say we're blessed to be having a nice house and maybe a good open space within our remit, where we are able to manage with one or two or three children. But maybe everybody doesn't have that privilege, and that's where we need to consider and I think majority of our population may not actually be in that zone. There are a lot of people who are actually staying in a 2-bedroom house with 4 kids. So when they are constrained in such a small place, it's I know it's the right thing, because you have to self-isolate, but when you have to self-isolate for 28 days, listening to all the noise and being at home and making ends meet, it's difficult. When you don't know, you don't have the money, you actually don't have the money, and you are taking care of kids where you are only maybe eating bread the whole day, the whole week. So it's a difficult. It's one of the most difficult situations, and I think I feel that our government is actually it is never going to be perfect. It can't be perfect. But
it's going to take time, isn't it?
Exactly. But they do have to think about it, because they have to consider, and if they. It's about making the right strategy, and it'll all depend on how they go about it, because there is no right and wrong. There is no tested path for it. And given the circumstances, we are all in the unknown. So I know that there is a lot of apprehension that if it opens up, it is going to have a negative effect, or it may bring out, but I think they have been very clear in stating that they don't want the second peak. So it's something they are looking into, as long as they take the right steps into ensuring, like testing, enough tracking, and it's a more more supervised way of managing the self-isolation.
It'll be interesting to see what they're going to implement.
Yes, definitely. Again, like you said, it is a huge job to persuade millions of Britons to go back into work, especially, like you said, when it isn't safe to do so. And I totally agree with you, sisters.
And what about the schools? I've not heard what's happening with the schools, what they're saying about the schools, because there's no way I'm sending my children back.
I think they're looking at sending the children back in June. This is what obviously Boris Johnson announced. And I believe that what the cabinet need to do as well is they need to do a massive confidence building job, as everyone is still terrified. We still are. And there's a massive task again to persuade whole of Britain that it is safe to go back.
Yeah. Yes.
So they've obviously going to be meeting up, I think, next week sometime. So we will be made clearer on what the rules are going to be regards that. Now, again, I've been told that commuters will be asked to check their temperature before travelling to prevent a second spike of infections. I've got Sister Corsa just touching her forehead, just checking her forehead here in the studio. Again, to prevent a second spike of infections when the coronavirus lockdown rules will be eased. So again, the restrictions will be in place to curb the spread of COVID-19. They are going to be reviewed on Thursday by Boris Johnson, and it's expected to set out how Britain will actually exit the full lockdown as well. Now, Boris will unveil his blueprint to take the nation out of its grueling lockdown, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing what they will be for Thursday as well. So, in detailed plans, which will be drawn up by the government, again, offices, factories and shops will be given 2.5 weeks to install new government social distancing measures, such as perspex screens and gaps between desks. Can you see that working, sisters?
No.
Would you go to work under these circumstances?
No.
See, I mean, like I said, I'm from an IT industry where we're not expected. I mean, that's been very categorically already been told that we're not going back to work in the offices straight away. We're already working and managing it, but so I think it's more of where direct contact is required. Things like hairdressing, things like cafes, which were really small shops where you could just.
Are we going to be given a choice? This is the other thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are we going to be given a choice? Are we going to be backed up into a corner, by our employers because they have no choice?
Yeah.
'Cause it comes
But
back to
remember,
economics.
when depending on what Boris Johnson releases on Thursday, businesses, offices, everything will have to make the right arrangements for obviously getting people back into work, especially if this 2 meter social distancing thing's going to apply. Now, there's only so much space in an office.
Yeah. It's going to be very challenging, and
It is.
And I think a lot of businesses. I mean, listening to the news, I remember, the Fuller chain of bars and pubs. Basically, he was mentioning that they would prefer to be in shutdown mode rather than.
But nobody wants to be held liable, do they?
No.
So I completely agree that it's going to be challenging, and we don't know. Yeah, but
This is why they need to look at what other countries are doing and see what they're implementing.
Yeah.
And if it works, I think it's way too soon at the moment to put anything into practice.
Yes, there is. And again, we touched on schools as well. Those are not expected to reopen until June, which will stop many parents from being able to return to work as well. So definitely it's going to have an impact.
It's a knock-on effect.
Yes.
It is, isn't it? So it'd be interesting to see what those plans are as well. Right, okay, let's move on. We did try and get some nurses to get involved in the show, but because of certain logistics and things, they were not willing to come forward. So it's a shame we've really missed out on the nurses' points of view. I'm going to go straight into some text messages here. I've got great show, Alvina, really informative, and that's from Zenab as well. And I've got congratulations to the team of people behind the scenes who made this radio station a reality. Would be good to mention them. Yes, it's all the core team and they know who they are. And you know what? This radio station wouldn't be the same without you, the listeners, taking part as well. So that's the key as well. So, sisters, any more on the subject of the lockdown, it being eased? Is there anything else that we could shout at Boris Johnson for?
Oh, plenty. Do we have time?
We have plenty of time.
The thing is, he has been sick himself. He's been very, very sick himself. And while he was in hospital, it's a matter of opinion whether the rest of the cabinet did a very good job or not.
Mm.
And exactly how many pieces does he have to pick up? And one of the things that we will be speaking about is the PPE.
Yes,
So
we will be. Yes, we will touching.
so I can't wait to touch upon that one.
Yeah, so we will be talking about the PPE and everything like that. Okay, so we're going to go straight into a nasheed now. And remember, if you do want to take part in any part of the discussion on Loose Sisters, please feel free to do so. Give us a call on 01902 972 150 or give us a text on 07 440 420 432. So we shall see you straight after the nasheed and the break as well.
I think my mom is amazing.
She wakes early in the morning with a smile, and she holds my head up high. Don't you ever let anybody put you down, 'cause you are my little angel. Then she makes something warm for me to drink, 'cause it's cold out there, she thinks. Then she walks me to school, yes, I ain't no fool. I just think my mom is amazing. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And when she's with me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. After school, she's waiting by the gate. I'm so happy that I just can't wait to get home to tell her how my day went. Eat the yummy food only my mom makes. Then I wind her up 'cause I don't want to bath. And we run around the house with a laugh. No matter what I say, she gets her way. I think my mom is amazing. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And when she's with me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. In the evening she tucks me into bed, and I wrap my arms around her head. Then she tells me a tale of a girl far away who one day became a princess. I'm so happy I don't want her to leave, so she lies in bed with me. As I close my eyes, how lucky am I to have a mom that's so amazing. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And when she's with me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Then I wake up in the morning, she's not there, and I realize she never was. And I'm still here in this lonely orphanage with so many just like me. And as my dreams begin to fade, I try hard to look forward to my day, but there's a pain in my heart that's a craving. How I wish I had a mom that's amazing, would be amazing.
She makes me feel, do anything. She's with me, nowhere else I'd rather be.
Okay, we have come back on just before the break because Sister Corsa has got something special to say, haven't you?
Have I?
Yeah.
What was that about?
We were just talking, actually, Sister Iram as well. We were just talking about what people are thinking about the radio station, and you wanted to say something, didn't you?
Definitely. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a very person who listens to radio. And,
Yeah.
I saw the ad on your WhatsApp message, on your WhatsApp story.
Yes, yeah.
It just intrigued me. I was curious, how are you going to pull this together in such a
Short time.
short time?
Oh, you're lucky you weren't here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the circumstances, because that's exactly, and I'll tell you honestly,
Mm-hmm.
this has been one of the most amazing things
Thank you.
I mean, I think I was looking forward to this along with Ramadan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I was actually.
So maybe COVID-19 was a blessing
Absolutely.
for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah?
And it's us girls that are behind the scenes and behind this.
Yeah.
Let's be honest now.
Yes,
It's
yes.
us girls that have pushed this forward and pushed this out
Mhm,
through our
definitely.
social media platforms and given encouragement to our men
Mhm. Yeah.
to do the shows. And I've liked the way that the shows have increased
Yes.
over the last week or so.
Yeah.
There's new shows coming in.
There are. To be fair, we obviously did struggle, and it was short time, like you says. But Alhamdulillah, everyone has pulled through. Everyone's responded in a very positive way, and we've got new material coming on board all the time. We will be having Education Matters. With one of our sisters who will be taking part in the discussion on the PPE very shortly. And we've got like a Wolves Nard talent as well, which is coming straight after this show as well. So it's all positive feedback, and it's what keeps the community going as well. And if people do want to get involved, they can do. They can get in touch on the studio number on 01902 972 150 or send us an email. Anything else, my dear sisters?
No, very well done.
Yeah, very
well done. And I like how you've kept in key with the colours.
Yes.
I think that's great as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Right. Okay. So coming up just after the break as well, we will be talking about PPE, the impacts it has had on the NHS staff and the carers as well. And again, if you do want to have your say, please do by ringing in on 01902 972 150, or you can text us on 074 440 420 432. Now you can WhatsApp us from your phones, or you can WhatsApp us on our Facebook page as well, and we will get all the messages. So loads of communication methods available to everybody. Right, we are going to go into a break, and we shall see you on. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. You're tuned in to Ramadan Radio, Wolverhampton, on Loose Sisters with Alvina Ali. Now, still to come, we will be sharing some community initiatives by residents of Wolverhampton. And if you would like to take part and let us know what you're doing in your area, give us a ring on 01902 972 150 or text in on 07 440 420 432. Now, I would particularly like to hear from nurses just on our next topic, which is to do with PPE. Gorsar, you've got something to say, haven't you?
I've got quite a lot to say on this matter, and I think we all have got quite a lot to say on this matter, and quite rightly. The government is facing heavy criticism on this. I think, again, it was very clear that there should have been enough PPE for all frontline workers, for every NHS worker. Every NHS worker has a right to be protected. As I said, every NHS worker has a right to be protected. And where was the contingency plan from the government? That's the most shocking thing. That, even when you look at Hollywood movies or Bollywood movies, and they, there's a film about pandemics and viruses, and you'd think that our government, being a first world country, would have had a better contingency plan in place. You would have thought they would have had the stocks in. And the stories that are coming out of the back of this are absolutely horrific. And what we are hearing, I mean, watching what's his name, the health secretary.
Oh, now you got
Boris
me.
was in hospital last week, the week before. Oh my God, his name's gone.
Doesn't matter. It'll come back to us. It'll come back to us. Yeah.
His body language just said it all. Really, when he was when they were doing the daily briefings.
Yeah.
His body language, it was so evident that they were struggling, that they were quite frightened. I thought their body language came across as they were quite frightened because they couldn't answer the questions.
Yeah.
And you've got different people from the different sides of the society coming in and asking where is this stuff?
Yeah.
And then we got promised this stuff. That was this billions and billions of pieces of stuff that was supposed to be coming through, and it didn't come through. It didn't materialise.
Right.
And it was really heartbreaking. It was quite very damaging for the government, I think. And knock, Sister Iram.
I think they have the statistics as answers, but the right people still don't have the right equipment. That's the nutshell of it.
Right, okay, we've got a call coming in, ladies. Hello, you're tuned into Ramadan Radio, and on the line I have...
Hello.
Hello, it's Reverend Ray Gaston.
Hello there, Reverend. Obviously, thank you for joining us today. And I believe you are part of the COVID Action Group in Wolverhampton, which is the Penfields and Merrydale area.
That's right, yes, yeah.
And I believe you took to the streets for our key workers.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to kind of build up, people's thinking about this, because it's been a major issue on the national scene. The lack of PPE, the government's failure to really sort of provide PPE for our key workers. And so, and there are a number of obviously key workers who live in this area and who live on our streets, who are our neighbours. And we've over the weeks been, we started obviously joining in the clap, but the clap felt like it wasn't enough, really.
Yeah.
And a few weeks ago, we put out some posters, and we noticed that a number of people on our street actually put up the posters. And so we started. Then a week ago, we had a little car cavalcade, which went around the area, and we were sort of calling for, PPE, keep our key workers virus free, testing and PPE, keep our key workers virus free. And this week we decided, because it was Workers' Memorial Day on Tuesday, that we would have a procession on Tuesday, socially distanced procession, at the time of the minute's silence nationally. And that was attended by a small number of people. But again, on Thursday we did it again, and there was a large number of people who came out for that. It's been important for us, I think, to not just clap for the NHS, and I think we're hearing that from some of the key workers. They just don't want people clapping for them. They want people actually demanding that they have the equipment that they need to do their jobs and to keep themselves and obviously their patients safe. So it's an important issue. So as a group, we've been involved in providing support for people. We've worked with a number of food banks like the Elias Matthews Foundation, the Adventist Food Bank and stuff, in ensuring that people get food and stuff, so supporting people. But we're also needing to pick up the politics and pick up the issues that are affecting our communities and affecting our neighbours who are key workers.
Right, okay. Sister Kosa, do you want to ask the Reverend anything?
Well, I thought it was, hello, Reverend, it's Kosa here.
Hi, Kosa.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you for coming onto our show. I think it was wonderful that you took to the streets to show your support and solidarity, and to show that you care, and that to show that we stand together with them. These key workers, they're right on the front line, and we need to remember those who have lost their lives, sadly. And it's these little pockets of society. If we can come together and make a much bigger noise, and I think that we do need to make a much bigger noise around this area, because I think it's totally unacceptable that, as I said before, living in a first world country, with the means to absolutely access everything, why was that boat missed? Literally, don't you think, Ray, that boat literally was missed right under our noses, right under the government's noses? They lost so many opportunities, they did, in securing PPE for our members of staff, and they just didn't. Why they didn't, I don't know. But you can see their body language is very worrying. You can see that they have messed up.
And I think it's a larger issue. I think about what kind of society we want. And I think what we want a society. As a person of faith, we want societies based on compassion.
Yeah.
We want societies that are orientated towards people.
Yeah.
We don't want societies that are orientated towards profit. And unfortunately, the government, between 2016, there was a whole range of sort of a test run done on the whole question of this kind of crisis, and it was pointed out sort of the kind of resources that were needed to respond to that. That report was shelved. The action that report called for was not done, and it was not done because of austerity, because of the fact that we weren't prepared to put the money into it. We're now getting the government talking about a return to work, They're talking about bringing the schools back in the 1st of June, you were hearing. We're going to hear an announcement on Thursday. We, as communities, as a society, we're not ready for that type of return back. There isn't the things in place that are needed to be in place for the lockdown to kind of be lifted. And unfortunately, the reason why the lockdown is being lifted is because people want people to go back to work so that money can still be made.
Health over wealth.
That's not our priority. Our priority are that people are safe. And that's got to be the top of the agenda for government and for communities. And so, I think our concern, in our group, is that we're here to provide support for people, and we're here to try and get people to organise support for each other.
Yeah.
But we're also looking about actually we need to be saying something from our communities. Like, we need to be standing with the teachers. The teachers are saying it's not right to go back to work, The National Education Union have put out a 5-point plan saying this is what's needed to go back to work. We should adopt that plan as communities and actually support teachers in saying it's not right to send children back to school. One of the first things they're talking about is sending primary school children back to school. Now, primary school children, we all know, those of us who've grown up with children, who have parented children, we know that primary school children are probably the least able to social distance. For all the best reasons, it's not natural. It's not natural to do that because it's natural to relate. It's natural to do that. So that kind of idea is, I think is a dangerous idea, and we need to make sure that any return to work is done safely, and the people who determine whether we return to work should be the health workers, should be the teachers, should be the people who kind of know on the ground what's the best thing to do, not Boris Johnson.
No, we've often criticised the government.
Government who are a million miles away from the grassroots and actually what's going on the ground.
Right, okay, I'll have to interrupt you there then, Reverend Ray. Thank you so much for taking part in the discussion today, and please do carry on the very good work that you are doing with the COVID Action Group in Wolverhampton, Penfields and Merrydale as well.
And can I just wish everybody Ramadan Mubarak and a blessing on your fast.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Right, there you go. That was Reverend Ray, who was talking about the parade that they organised as well. Right, okay. Now, obviously, NHS is playing a very important part in our lives. So how lucky are we to have them? Now, it has been widely reported that as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, there is a global shortage of protective equipment for frontline workers. Now, New Cross Hospital has been running critically low on personal protective equipment, and staff are battling the coronavirus as well at the same time. Now, NHS bosses have been forced to turn to local companies as part of an urgent appeal to ensure frontline workers are protected. And again, there was an appeal launched by the charitable arm of Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust, which runs New Cross as well. So shortly we should be having Sister Shahida on the line, who will be telling us exactly what she's been involved in and how she got involved with sort of doing some PPE. But what we're going to do is we're going to give a couple of shouts to certain people who have done initiatives in the community. So, ladies, have you got any shout-outs you want to do of people, what they have done to help support the NHS?
Yes. There's been some wonderful stories coming out of Wolverhampton on how people have helped and supported the NHS. I spoke earlier about how I've been volunteering with some food banks and some charities and sort of rallying up, my neighbourhood and the people that I know that, let's donate food and get that out to the people that need it. Back to the NHS, people have been donating food and treats to the NHS, and especially to New Cross Hospital. For example, over Easter, there were hundreds of Easter eggs that were delivered. Yeah. And I had friends that have been cooking meals. Just the other day, they've been cooking meals and dropping those off for the key workers and doctors.
Right. Okay. On the line now, I have got Sister Shahida. Hello, sister. Can you hear us?
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
Sister Iram, Sister Kausa.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Great show, great discussion.
Thank you so much. Sister Shahida, can you please enlighten us and tell our listeners how you got involved with supplying the NHS with PPE?
Right. Okay. Well, by profession, I am a teacher, but I actually got involved with PPE due to personal experience of hospital life. Sadly, a couple of weeks ago, around about mid-March, my dear dad was taken into hospital. He was admitted to New Cross Hospital. This was way back in mid-March. And it was then that I realised the amount of gear that we had to put on ourselves in order to go and see him while he was in the ward. Now, he didn't have COVID-19, but he was in a ward with other patients that did have COVID-19.
Right,
And I
okay.
remember thinking to myself, I'm wearing this gown, I'm wearing this face mask, using the sanitizer, and there are people in this hospital walking around exposed to this virus. And at the time, you don't realise just how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, sadly, my dad passed away. May Allah Ta'ala grant him the highest rank in paradise.
Amen.
And I remember thinking to myself, I wish I could do something. I am a teacher. I'm at home right now. I have got time at my disposal. What can we do? I joined one of the COVID-19 community Facebook groups, which run within the Penfields and the Finchfield area. And from looking at the stream, I picked up that one of the schools had donated 50 of their goggles from the science department. Now, because I was a science teacher, I quickly rang up my school and spoke to my head, and I said, look, our safety goggles are, follow the spec that is needed for these frontline workers. They are sitting in our lab. Why don't we donate them? So this is actually how it all started. So we had 500 goggles within the building, and we then went in, washed the goggles. There was a couple of colleagues of mine who joined in with me, and we delivered 100 goggles each to the local hospitals within the area. And some of them, obviously, 100 went also to the New Cross Hospital. But Russell Hall, we delivered to Standwell, Worcester Hospital and Rowley Regis, because my school is obviously situated on the outskirts of Dudley and Halesowen. And then moving on from there, I thought, well, yes, that's goggles done now, but, it's the face shields that the doctors need. And PPE was by then had become a very, very hot topic on the news. So my next little project was I contacted the DT department. I knew we had a 3D printer in the department, so I asked the DT department, why don't we make some visors? And this is where it all started. We then started manufacturing visors. The materials were a little hard to source, but some companies managed to get us the materials. I had colleagues who knew of other colleagues and other friends who were able to source some of these materials. And I think to date, I would say that we have actually produced 300 visors for the local hospitals, and also donated alongside that the goggles, as I've said, and the 2,000 disposable aprons. Then my next little initiative was, well, these doctors, these nurses, they're working on the front line. They're doing the long hours. By the time they're coming home, they're shattered. And you know what? Easter's coming. Let's do a little bit of a nice thing for them. So then I actually put on our WhatsApp group, let's get some Easter eggs going. So managed to get a whole load of sisters to donate Easter eggs. So we delivered the Easter eggs to the New Cross Hospital on the Good Friday.
That's
now,
brilliant.
Really, the way I see it, it is really only a drop in the ocean. PPE is massive. It is massive because it doesn't just go to. It's not a concern just for the hospital staff. It is for the care homes. It is also going to be for anybody who's going to have that close contact with people. So it's widespread. But anything we can do has got to be good for the community. That's the way I see it. I know there's a lot of work going on. I know Birmingham, they've got the companies making the gowns and the face masks, and I've tried to get onto their areas, email them to see if we can actually help out. But, the biggest thing is everybody wants to help, but sourcing the materials is the biggest difficulty.
Yeah.
I think many people are finding that, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. And listening to your discussion earlier, they are talking about opening up schools and opening up workplaces, and we hold our breath until next Thursday, thinking, what is Boris going to throw at us now?
Yeah.
My biggest worry is that we as school teachers, we're going to be exposed to children, okay?
Yeah.
And surely we will need PPE equipment.
Yeah.
Then he's talking about if people are going to be allowed out, to go about certain businesses which are going to be opening up. Surely they're going to need PPE and face masks at the very minimum. Where is all that going to come from? Where we're already hearing about shortages in hospitals,
Yes.
let alone going into the wider community.
Right. Okay. Food for thought there, Sister Shahida. Thank you so much for taking part in the discussion. May Allah bless you and reward you for all your efforts that you are doing. And you are one of our Lou sisters. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and thank
you.
you for all the work that you're doing in sharing this out and engaging all the audience as to, what a big deal this PPE is and what we can do.
Yes. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you.
Okay, Khadafis. Okay, so there you go. That was Sister Shahida, who obviously was telling us about her projects with regards to PPE and what they are doing with the school as well. Now, we're doing some big shout outs with regards to community initiatives. So again, we got City of Wolverhampton City Council, which started delivering food parcels to its most vulnerable residents. And the council, obviously, we know that they converted the WV Active Ordersley Leisure Centre into a food distribution hub. And obviously the free parcels are containing basics like bread, pasta, cereal, tinned fruit, long life milk and toilet roll essentials delivered to the doors of those most in need. Food businesses have been supporting frontline workers, as Sister Korsar mentioned as well. And staff from Wolverhampton University have helped out with the national shortage of personal protective equipment by making scrubs for NHS and frontline staff. We got Ben Smith from Wensfield. He's a saxophonist and a music teacher. And he came up with the idea during the Clap for Our Carers event. He's looking to sort of put on a concert and raise money for the NHS charities together. And also the Wolves boss, Nuno Esperato Santo. His players and his coaching staff have made a 6-figure donation to the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust. Now, that money will go towards buying essential equipment for the new wards that are currently being built. Now, the investment will make a huge difference to the NHS and patients. Also, the Sikh Temple in Wolverhampton has donated £50,000 to help patients stay in touch with their families during the coronavirus crisis, such as giving them IT equipment and things like that. We've got the Wolverhampton Muslim Forum, who have donated £2,000 to the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust for PPE, which they are sourcing themselves as well. Staff from Wolverhampton Homes are doing quite a lot as well. So we've got Mark and Michelle, who are involved in separate little ventures where they are doing a 5k run, and they are obviously donating £5 to the charity. And Michelle's husband has volunteered to have all his hair chopped off, so when the lockdown is over they will arrange a big event as well. Also, pupils at Heath Park in Wolverhampton, they've created cards for the residents of local care homes, as they were worried about them being alone during the pandemic. So they've also been busy making cards for key workers who are busy working and helping others during the tough period. And I believe we've got a call, have we? Do we know who it is? Hello, you're tuned into Lou Sisters. How can I help you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Amjad, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you? You okay?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Just a quick one. I just want to touch up on this PPE issue.
Okay, you got a minute, because we're nearing the show very shortly.
I was speaking to one of the senior managers to a company who actually works for a PPE company. And the biggest problem is that they were saying themselves that because of the lockdown and a lot of workforce not going into work, they're finding it very hard to mass produce these kind of equipment at this very moment now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally think, right, that the government has messed up, and it's messed up big time. But I personally think that if the government knew that we needed PPE equipment, they should have at least let these companies start their workforce. Because these companies provide the PPE equipment, they're safe themselves as well, you see, with the workers that work in these companies.
Yeah.
Right? So these companies should have been left open to mass produce the PPE equipment, and then maybe we wouldn't have had a shortage.
Yeah.
Nor did we have to source from overseas.
Turkey.
Yeah.
And like this person said, they said that there's only 3 people who are at the factory now. That are, I mean, what is 3 people going to do?
Yeah.
In the factory. Right? So this is a major big problem we have, right? That is, there's nothing happening here, and
Yeah.
we're having to become, sourcing from other countries, and other countries are giving us charity.
Yeah. Thank you, Amjad. We are short of time, but I really appreciate your call. And thank you for joining the Lou Sisters.
Jazakallah for your time. Thank you.
Hafiz. Okay, right. I think we need to stand up, girls. Yeah? And we need to clap for the NHS. So come on, are you going to join me? Get your mics up. Okay, let's clap for the NHS. And let's clap for all the supporters. And let's clap for all the carers. And also the bus drivers and taxi drivers as well. So there you go. That's our clap for the community of Wolverhampton as well. Now, and finally, what I do want to finish off on is, firstly, I want to thank the sisters for taking part in Loose Sisters as well. Sisters, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And finally, I'm going to finish off with a person who has captured the heart of the nation with his heroic efforts, and he has raised an incredible amount of money, and that is Colonel Tom Moore, who is aged 100, who raised £30 million for the NHS charities by walking 100 laps of his garden before his 100th birthday. Now, Colonel Tom Moore originally aimed to raise just £1,000 for the NHS, for the charities together. So it's a incredible effort by him, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and very inspirational as well.
Definitely lesson for us all as well. But I tell you what, he has smashed his target after nearly 800,000 people made donations to his fundraising page. So what an extraordinary achievement by him as well. Now, the war hero also got a special surprise. Colonel Tom Moore has been presented with the Pride of Britain Award after raising the £30 million for the NHS and its battle against the coronavirus crisis as well. So well deserved. You are truly inspirational, Tom Moore. So for now, it is time for us to sign out, and always join me on In Conversation With every Thursday from 7 till 8 p.m. And also we will be back with Lou Sisters next week on a Sunday from 1:30 to 3 p.m. Do you want to quickly do your poem? You've got 15 seconds.
Oh, no more shaking hands. Don't touch your face. Never stand too close in that crowded place. A virus is among